Busa pa natin.
Dali lang. Ng apoy.
Hindi. Pampatanggal ng apoy,
Pampalamig.
Pampalamig.
Pampalamig. May manunod kaya sa atin ngayon.
Bakit hindi? Dahil
Wala si Ronald.
Pag-usapan natin siya.
Si Ronald ay, what shall I call him?
Siya yung ulam ng...
Tumakas on the day that he became the subject of the Senate plenary.
Again.
Again.
Not again. Well, plenary this time.
Plenary this time. Hindi yung personal attacks on Facebook.
Yes.
Headlines again.
Yes.
He's been headlining.
His name was brought up at the plenary.
Oo, by Senator Alan Peter Cayetano kasi
the shortcut
Senator Cayetano took offense at being called a Tsinador, which Ronald invented. That
he coined the term in an
February 1
article.
column.
In his opinion column.
That's a very deadly, fatal label. Medyo. Go ahead, Regina.
Is it worse than contractor?
Contractor medyo catchy eh.
It's worse,
Parang contractor, contractor.
Before we move on, Tsinador, of course, I don't know if Ronald would claim that word, but he kind of popularized it. Diba? And remember, flashback to 2010, somehow I think he laid claim or was part of the group that invented another fatal label,
which is
Villarroyo.
Villarroyo, to pertain to
like demolish the candidacy, to torpedo the candidacy of
Manny Villar
by linking him to
Gloria
Arroyo, even though he was not really the official candidate of the administration. It was Gibotidoro. So ganon. That's how you torpedo a candidacy, right? With a thing like Villarroyo.
It's very hashtagable.
Ang expose ni Senator Cayetano was, back in, hindi sinabi yung year, but back during the Pinoy administration, si Ronald Llamas, who was then the presidential advisor, went to him, and he was then Senate Minority Leader, pulled him aside and said he was against the arbitration case that Pinoy was about to file at the Permanent Court of Arbitration. And gusto niya, he was trying to rally support for it. This is Ronald trying to rally support
against the filing.
Against the filing per the narrative of Senator Cayetano. Sabi daw ni Ronald kay Senator Cayetano that China's culture is different. Multilateral approaches like this don't work. Dapat daw bilateral, meaning one-on-one. And
which is the China line. I mean,
which is the China line, correct? Yeah.
Keep it bilateral. Keep it between the two countries. Don't involve the US.
the other.
So I suppose ang point ni Senator Cayetano in pointing this out is he was trying to, I guess, make Ronald out to be a hypocrite. Back then, this is what he did. He's calling them out for being
opportunistic.
Ayun, opportunistic
or political opportunism, parang ganun eh.
Yeah, something like that.
That was a phrase that he used. More or less, I'm just paraphrasing lang.
Okay, but unfortunately, Ronald is not around
to defend himself.
Though he had a comment because he saw the exchange in the Senate, and ang ano ba comment niya, Bob? Sabi niya na he made it a joke
tawa.
As always.
10,000 tawa.
He in short, parang I'm flattered that I'm being talked about in the Senate plenary.
What does 10,000 tawag mean?
Tawa.
Tawa. So, lol.
No, but I think it's in... May pahapyaw yun eh. Alam si Ronald, kaya mag-isip, may pahapyaw yun eh.
Actually, medyo busy nga siya. Ronald, sorry.
Yung pangako ni Alan Peter na...
10,000 per voter.
Oh, the 10,000 pesos.
I think.
That's it. During the campaign.
Galing nga, na-connect mo yung dots.
Consistent, Palaging may laman dun sa statement niya na may patira. 10,000 pesos.
I guess that's why, ang daming napoprovoke sa mga statements si Ronald. Sorry, Ronald, sinong absent siya yung ulam.
The way I describe your book is, I don't know if you'll agree, Dilaw na ugaling DDS.
The way you would describe him? Bakit?
He's yellow. I mean, to use a crass language, na ugaling DDS. Yung
Can we make it nicer?
Ng pipikon.
Can make it nicer. Magaling sila gumawa ng mga catchphrase. Magaling sila magpa-viral. Diba? Ronald and yung mga DDS. Yun lang, they're on opposite teams. Yun lang yun, I think.
Kung gusto niya, magaling siya mag-troll.
Magaling siya
Magaling
mag-troll.
siya mag-troll.
Magaling siya mag-troll. That's a better word.
Ayoko
That's a word.
mabasya ko pag tinawag ko si Ronald na troll.
Hindi ko sabing troll siya. Magaling siya
King
mag-troll.
troll. Magaling nga siya mag-troll.
Magaling siya mag-troll.
Meron pa siya book, di ba? Yung post. It's not, well, he didn't mention who. He had a post saying na hindi lahat ng traidor nakabayong. Hindi lahat ng makapili nakabayong.
Nakabayong.
I don't know if you understand the reference because panahon ng
Hapon,
Hapon,
Japanese. World War II.
Kailangan talaga hanggang
Nakabayong yung
doon
mga
tayo.
makapili, yung mga traidor nagtutulog.
Oo nga pala yung
They had
pointed
a-
hats.
butas,
Yung
si
mga
Bobo.
kabayo.
Parang a bag over their head.
Panahon nila Dolphy yata yung mga pelikula na yun. Sabi niya, hindi lahat ng makapili nakabayong.
But to
Yung
be
iba,
clear, hindi
yung
niya
iba,
minention si Senator Marcoleta.
wala siyang
Oo,
minimension.
wala
Sabi lang
siyang
niya, yung
minimension.
iba,
Nakabalong.
Nakabarong.
okay. Takot ka matrol.
Galing talaga niya magpa-viral eh. With a hashtag about...
He's enjoying.
He evidently is because every time i-message niya ako, it's a link to something na nasa headline siya, pinag-uusapan siya. And medyo marami.
He enjoys it, ah.
He enjoys it.
He enjoys
Pero
it.
nagsimula dun sa
He's a
Chinese
troll.
embassy.
Oo.
Diba?
Na halos maging diplomatic issue na between the
Persona non
Philippines. Muntik na mga persona non grata.
For someone, who is so used to operating
Underground.
and in dark rooms or behind,
Para sa nakawala eh.
in the shadows, yan. He's enjoying the limelight somehow.
I think the game maybe is different now.
What's that?
You need the limelight to be able to get your point across. It's a different landscape.
I don't think that's it. But I've known Ronald for a long time, and he's
So
always had a
ito,
sense of
okay,
humor.
so
That's the thing.
you've known Ronald a long time. I didn't know him before, and as I keep pointing out, there's a bit of a memory gap for me kasi wala ako dito eh.
Right,
I
right.
only came back to the country 2016.
Out of your cave.
Patapos na to, hindi.
Ito,
From
hindi mo siya
overseas,
lumalabas.
She's still in her cave, as they would argue.
we the people. And pagdating ko dito, when I moved back here, patapos na yung Aquino administration. So effectively, nabutan Chris Duterte administration. So I didn't know Ronald as a presidential advisor. But now that Senator Cayetano said what he said, naniniwala ka ba that at that time, Ronald was
Okay.
against the arbitration?
This is what I know. This is what I know. He never mentioned that part where he tried to lobby with the senators to convince, to influence Pinoy not to file the arbitration case. No? But what we know is that first thing during the Scarborough Shoal standoff, right? And he said so that he was part of a backdoor
Backchannel.
diplomatic
Oo.
effort, meaning to say that he went to somewhere in China, I don't know, Hong Kong and maybe somewhere, to try to negotiate
That's
with
how he got
China
all these contacts.
on how to ease the contacts. And the reason he said na siya yung ginamit na sa backdoor was because as a member of the moderate left, okay, and he mentioned this in the last episode of Safe House, that who is very well versed, very well read on Xi Jinping thought, that there was some trust there in him.
Meron siyang konting leverage. Okay. Capital.
Among Chinese officials. So that was, I guess, the context why he probably felt, let's keep this negotiation going on. And another important detail, which he also mentioned publicly before, he led several delegations to China in the past.
Actually, he would always
Oo.
tell me that also. We all know during that time, no, after Scarborough, maraming channeling groups, back channeling,
Right,
front
right.
channeling. So may
Meron din
official, may
yung
back.
group, si Senator Trillanes, who also
Correct.
went and
Yes.
back-channeled.
Yes.
That
May
was
group
different.
friend.
That
So
was
they always
different. That
put
was
like a
different
business, Phil Chai businessman in there. There's always that kind of group. And it wasn't very much a big secret at that time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the curious thing there is that Ronald says he led several of those delegations to China on trips to whatever. So what does that mean? He was friendly with the Chinese embassy.
Baka it's a question of the timelines.
Yeah. And
kasi-
a question dito, at what point did he change his mind?
Kaya nga eh, how
Did
do
he
you
change
go
his
from
mind?
Ronald, the lead of the back-channeling group, to Ronald,
Right.
who's calling out 9 senators for not signing the resolution to condemn the Chinese embassy?
Yes,
Yeah,
and
what was the
Ronald
tipping point?
organizing this civilian
Yeah.
convoy.
Oh,
Oh yes,
No.
to the West Philippine
Yes,
Sea.
sir.
Oh.
So what happened? What happened?
Pero nga, baka nga it's a thing with the timeline eh. Kasi remember, the Scarborough Shoal happened middle of the year, more or less. And then yung
What
yung
year?
arbitral
2012.
Yeah.
2012.
And then yung arbitral rule, the filing of the petition happened later pa eh.
In 2016, already the results came up.
The results.
The results
Pero yung
came up,
filing came the next year, I think eh. 2013 eh.
2013.
Thereabouts eh. So, it's all...
What happened between 2012
Mhm.
to 2013? Okay, this is something that Ronald mentioned also in an episode of Safe House, no, which might be relevant today. You know, in that back channel talks or negotiation or meeting, he told his Chinese counterpart, you know, why the standoff? You know, we used to do this naman always. Philippine Navy would come in, apprehend Chinese fishermen, and then
Yeah,
release
yeah.
them.
Let them go.
Oh, let them go. Parang this is something that we have to do. Diba? If they're poaching, we have to arrest them. We'll release them
Yeah.
too. In fact, when they arrested Taiwanese fishermen, they released them to Beijing. That was one of the diplomatic faux pas of
Yeah.
the Peter administration.
Okay.
So what struck him, okay, I'm speaking for Ronald here, but it's all on record. I mean, if you research back to old episodes of Safe House, what struck him then was the response of the Chinese official. The difference is that we're a superpower now.
You can't do that. You can't do that
You
anymore.
can't do that to us anymore. So may realization, boom, may realization na gano'n. Iba na to. Things have changed.
So one possible tipping point for when Ronald mind might have changed, perhaps, or his tone. But like, where are we today? Because ang gulo eh. I mean, do you
I
think
know,
China
I know,
smells
I know.
weakness?
I know.
They also sent in a new ambassador who is also quite vocal, quite
Yes,
risky.
and then the Department of Foreign Affairs has issued also a statement
Exactly.
saying easy lang yung PCG. Easy lang dapat.
And they have a new spokesman too for maritime affairs.
Affairs.
Oo.
Bigla
So
may
what is
ganun,
that?
no?
Oh,
And I think this is also very
I
significant.
wonder how much
Oy,
he
to
can
be
say.
fair,
I wonder
to
how
be-
much he can
Oy,
say.
Visa-free entry for Chinese nationals.
Yes,
Visa-free
for
entry.
14 days.
Matagal na yung visa-free.
No,
It has
pero-
nothing to do
pero
with
it's-
the West Philippine Sea.
No.
Matagal lang
this year.
meron, and then it got
It got
paused, on hold,
Yeah,
and then now they resumed.
Right. But the
timing.
resumption is also significant. The timing of the resumption is also significant, I think.
The tourism industry is
The dog-
Dead.
falling. It's-
Because of
I wouldn't call it dead. There's still people coming, but majority of them are balikbayans or people with ties to the Philippines, and it's really lagging in Southeast Asia.
So
they
that's
really
why it's
want that.
visa-free.
Yes,
it's to bring in the
it's to
tourists.
bring up that, shore up that pillar of the economy.
The question is, will it work? Because as we know, the Chinese government largely can dictate where their tourists go and don't go, whether or not meron silang visa-free. Because naalala ko, before COVID, before the lockdowns, number one Chinese tourists overtook Koreans as our number one
yes,
touristic
right.
population.
Right.
Yeah.
And then
That's
you're
why
right.
after COVID, hindi na bumalik.
Hindi na bumalik.
The tourism was never able to come back to pre-pandemic levels, whereas other countries, Thailand, Indonesia, Vietnam.
Well, we also had visa-free for, I think, Indian nationals or something
Indians,
like
Indians,
But they're
yeah.
still not coming. I don't know.
Oh, it's a slow burn. Just because you introduce a visa-free policy doesn't mean they're all gonna come in droves tomorrow, right? Matagal yan. It's a good start with India at least. But maybe, in hindsight, the realization there is dapat 2012 pa lang, nag-iba na rin tayo na strategy with China. Maybe that is the lesson to take away here. If at that point they said, we can't do that to us anymore because we're a superpower now, then we should have recalibrated as well.
I think that's
Maybe.
what happened.
Well, Duterte.
Ronald at least recalibrated his head.
At least
his
siya.
thinking.
I meant-
And they said, okay, let's go to the tribunal.
I meant as a country, yun na ba yung direction? Kaya lang, of course, nagbago
Well, that's
after.
the problem. You know, our foreign policy
Ganun
is
talaga ang
6
democracy.
years.
Yeah.
It's not like you have a strong bureaucracy,
Yeah.
foreign policy, foreign Department of Foreign Affairs, where the policy is consistent. And even if I think the DFA has always repeated that West Philippine Sea is not the sum of our relationship with China. Sometimes the position of DFA is overshadowed by the
By
position of-
virality. Basically, because
By
they
Tariela.
yeah, so they also release like press statements. It can be quite boring, and then you go online and you hear Tariela is very passionate, right? You hear a lot
in the
of
same way
voices.
that you have a new Chinese diplomat. Sabi nga diplomats are oftentimes used as firefighters.
Yeah.
They're the flames caused by the home office or by your government. He's supposed to piss on it.
Yeah, like
It's a
throw
very
water.
crude way of
Throw
putting it,
water.
pero okay, I get it. I get you.
Yeah, but
I cannot
But do you think this one, this
Oo
new
nga,
one,
kaya nga eh.
does the diplomat have the authority to change policy?
Of course not.
There you
Of
go.
course not.
Yeah,
They are the
yeah,
alter
yeah.
ego.
So home
It's
office
ano
changes policy. Home office.
It's
So they're the alter ego of the president or the prime minister. So in this case, that's what I was asking Romel Banlawi earlier. What does it say that China sent an old U.S. hand to the Philippines at this point
It
in
says a
time?
lot, I
like
guess.
Ching
It says a
Chuan?
lot.
We should read a lot into that.
Yes.
Right? You know, the diplomatic corps is among the most disciplined, at least in any bureaucracy in any government, diba? So they really follow a straight line. Ganun. So it says a lot. I think it says a
It
lot.
was quite jarring. I mean, of course, after a while, I suppose we can say na medyo na-desensitize na tayo because of non-stop back and forths, how many not verbals, diplomatic notes, whatever, incidents recorded. Pero nung pagdating ng bagong ambassador and the tone on the official Facebook page, nonetheless, it's kind
Ng
of,
Chinese
it's jarring,
embassy,
it's super
oo.
jarring.
Oo.
And knowing that the new ambassador Ching Chuan came from the US, probably speaks really good English,
He does.
understands
Fluent siya.
everything. The undertones of bakit yung galing sa US yung dinala dito, medyo, I don't know, is it a level up? It sounds like a level up for me.
Ratchet up.
Ratchet.
Diba? What do you think?
He was,
As a-
hindi, that's what I keep asking. And
No, what do you think?
Yeah.
The,
Is it,
the fact
is it-
that he was there for over 20 years in most of it in Washington D.C., but in other places, I think mostly in Washington
So
D.C.
what
But
do you
the point
think?
is that
From the Chinese perspective, what do you think?
Sabi daw niya kay well, he visited Philippine Star, right? And sinabi niya sa mga editors there. I mean, he was there during the toughest of the U.S.-China diplomatic relations. He was, he's
With Trump? With Trump or
before
Biden?
pa yata eh. 20 years. Remember, he was there 20 plus years.
And he's gone through
He's
both Trumps,
gone
diba?
through being called a persona non grata. He's gone through difficult trade relations. He's gone through the worst of it.
Has be.
So
is he
meaning
one of
to
those
say-
been expelled or anything
Hindi
like that?
naman yata. Hindi naman yata. Pero again, I think coming back to the significance of him being the one sent here at this time is parang
From the Chinese perspective, what do you
he's not
think
one
about
to
that
back
move?
down.
Well, from the Chinese perspective, what do you think about that move? Is it a good move by China, by Beijing, to send somebody like that here?
I think so. The fact that we're talking about it and like pointing out certain things like, oh, he was in the US for so and so, how long, 2 Trump administrations and then some. I think it's getting discussed. Change of tone in their official Facebook page where most people, normal Filipinos are right now. I mean, and we're talking about it. It's on the news.
He seems someone,
Tanong kita, do you think, I don't know the name of that ambassador.
Ching
Yung
Chuan.
the
Okay.
one before?
Do you think
Wang Cilia.
his actuations help or embolden our senators? I'm gonna say senators.
Which? Those senators.
Yes.
Those
The so-called
Nakakainis.
Call them that.
Nakakainis,
Okay.
medyo sticky siya, no?
Oh, grabe. Talagang
Alam mo agad yung meaning
Oo,
eh.
Galing.
To shrug off, I have to shut up. So what do you think, Bo?
I don't want to get into that. So
Does it help? Does it help?
Ang basa ko lang at this is early days, of course he's just got here, is that this is someone who's ready to engage. Not passively, but actively. You can see that on the Chinese embassy
I tend to
official
agree with
Facebook
you.
page, right? Every single time somebody mentions China, that's why this back and forth has gone into overdrive, because nobody shows any sign of
Do we
backing down.
prefer this to water cannon? That's another question, right?
Well, depends
Do
who
we
you're
listen to water
asking.
cannoning incidents?
For the fishermen,
Is
yes.
it automatic that it's one or the other?
Well,
lang?
no, I'm asking.
Yun eh.
No, I'm
Hindi,
just
it's not
asking if
automatic.
we prefer it to water cannon incidents in West Philippine Sea.
Well, if this will stop the water cannoning,
Yeah.
better, yan. But if you have both,
You think it's better?
Escalation yun.
I don't know, Bok, if it's better than the water cannoning.
I don't think it is kasi the
Kasi
danger
awkward
here is you get into a détente.
Yeah.
Diba?
And
Yung
it's a
parang
diplomatic
standoff.
row.
Naging standoff
the
na.
David there, right? It's a clear...
Oh, clearly. Oy, by the way, point out ko lang na yung DFA has always had a Maritime Affairs Division. Ang bago lang doon is they've appointed a spokesperson.
spokesman.
But they've always had a Maritime
So
Affairs
are they
Division
trying to
looking into...
take the mouthpiece out of Philippine
Hindi ko
Coast Guard?
sure.
Anything
Baka.
like- huh?
Remember what happened to...
Can you imagine somebody
I'm
from
blanking.
DFA
The National
talking like
Security
Tariela?
Advisor, the Deputy...
Jonathan
Andres.
Manalo.
Yes. Remember,
I
he was
know- I
one
know,
of the
I'm-
more vocal ones
Does
as well.
anybody here know what happened to Jonathan Manalo?
I heard some things.
Okay.
Na hindi ko I
Ako
can't
din.
repeat
Hindi ko
on
rin
air.
hindi ko
Okay.
rin ma-repeat
But
on
it
air.
has to do with being vocal. Yes. Daw ha. This is from industry sources.
Oh, no, he disappeared, no?
Yeah. Very unceremoniously.
Yeah.
Sources in the administration.
And he was
special
very
events matter.
engaging kasi.
We also
Very
haven't heard
calm,
much from
very
the task.
sober, very sharp. Huh?
Yeah.
Remember, we had that national task force.
Si
We liked interviewing him.
He
Centino.
can be
Yeah, Andres
assertive and
Centino.
aggressive without being alarmist.
Oo.
And
Remember?
then,
But
I mean, he can say something that will make you feel insulted, but will make you smile pa rin.
Yeah. It's his yung dating niya kasi.
Demeanor.
Demeanor. Going back to to our original, your original question about China. Siguro, for them, maybe they did score something because the DFA was prompted to release a statement to call for calm. So it's almost like they're rebuking our own people.
And the DFA appointed a spokesman for maritime
And
affairs.
then that.
Kasi, can you imagine somebody from DFA speaking, bluntly?
Yeah,
No.
like that.
So it's pulling the mic from Tariela.
could be.
Or just put in another voice. Cooler heads.
Or
So you put two voices
the
out
classic.
Anong to?
Good
This
cop,
is the
bad
third
cop.
voice na. Remember, there is also the National Maritime, was it?
Nothing
West
ever
Philippine Sea
happened.
Task Force.
Yeah.
Nothing ever happened to that.
Yeah, it just
They also
faded.
had a
What a
spokesperson.
ES.
Yes.
I forgot na nga his
Si,
name.
Okay.
See,
Oh my
nobody
gosh.
remembers the guy.
West
But we've
Philippine.
had him several times.
Yeah, yung Westcom.
yes.
We just can't remember him anymore.
Address and
How can we
General
not remember him? Executive Secretary.
Hindi.
Hindi,
siya dati. Hindi siya
CES.
ES.
Was it General Centino? No.
No.
No. There was
There
another
was another
general.
one.
Another general. Tapos na pinalitan.
Former military man.
This was after the finger incident. Diba?
Si-
Nung Navy. Sa Ayungin pa yun eh.
Now I can't.
Now you have to
See, but
Google it.
that's
I
the
have
point.
my phone.
Diba?
Now I can't let it go.
He disappeared
But there
already.
is a National Task Force for the West Philippine Sea spokesperson. So pangatlong voice na to. Itong DFA appointed West Philippine Sea spokesperson. And this is something we've always pointed out. China has a decades-old foreign affairs strategy, right? On a single issue, such as the West Philippine Sea / South China Sea, di tayo agree. We
Kumbaga
can't get
sila
on the same
sobrang
page.
consistent sila.
They're very
Tayo.
consistent.
Still related to the China issue, I mean, to the regional geopolitics here in the region, is, I don't know if you've noticed in the news, that we're part of this minerals pact.
Yeah.
Yes.
With
Yeah,
the US.
of course.
Okay. It sounds really boring, the news, Secretary Lutilla of DNR had
Critical
to fly
minerals.
to
Yeah.
Washington to sign this pact, along with other countries.
Turns out to be copper
And
and
if you listen to
That's what
the
we have.
speech of Rubio and J.D. Vance, they didn't mention China, but it was all about how to
Shifting the
face
supply
China.
chain.
In the past, they have said it's a
In the past.
way to counter China's
In the past.
dominance in
But
this
in that,
industry.
in that
Yeah.
incident, in that
No,
event, they didn't
they
mention
didn't
China,
mention.
but it was all about fixing our logistics. There's this country who's undercutting our prices of minerals, and there. But now, I think it's another play by the U.S. in this superpower
There is no question at this
competition
point
in the
that
region.
under BBM's administration, we have fully embraced the U.S.
Yes.
There's no more question
While
at this point.
continuing to trade
Oo.
and do business with
With China.
China.
But even
And
that,
Philippine mining
we've
all
let
goes
go.
to China.
Oo. Yeah.
All the extraction goes to China.
Yeah.
I think we're underplaying that.
What I
It's
want to
not-
see though is that promise because So our inclusion in that critical minerals deal is that supposedly they're gonna look for big time investors here for
So that they can
processing.
build the
So we have
processing
value,
here.
yeah. So we have
Okay.
value added because that all
Yes,
goes to China.
in principle. In principle. Because right now all the processing happens in
Indonesia.
China
And Indonesia.
and Indonesia. I don't think it's because they don't want the processing done here. I'm sure there was an attempt or an effort to do the processing plants here. But we don't have electricity.
Kuryente pa nga lang eh.
And you're
I think that's
it's,
the
it's
root of the
also
problem.
a huge
Puro brownout sa
capital
Mindanao eh.
That's a
investment.
use. So there, it's like cat and mouse. I mean,
Remember
Where do
NSC
you
before
start?
sa Iligan, National Steel Corporation?
Oo.
Iligan used to be...
When we
Just about
back
that,
when
eh,
we
oh.
had national industries.
Now
Which is another thing. We don't
make
have-
anything. We don't make anything.
Remember, rubber was in Cotabato, then they all left kasi
So
ang
the US is
gulo-gulo
going to
daw.
say, processing of this rare
No,
minerals will
basilan
be here in
and
the
ano.
Philippines, but can we fire up those plants?
And that's,
Well,
that's
yeah.
power intensive
Yeah, it's very power intensive.
Kasi furnaces yan eh.
So, in interview namin si Philippine ambassador to the US, Ambassador Babe Romualdez, about it. He couldn't give us many specifics
About this minerals pack.
about this minerals deal. I asked for a dollar figure. He says he didn't say anything. He didn't give anything. I asked what is the Philippines' commitment. All he said was, yun nga, the US is committed to help the Philippines build up capabilities to process nickel and copper. Nickel, matagal na tayong one of the largest exporters of nickel in the world, right? Except yun nga, hindi processed. They have to send it to countries like Indonesia and China to process. But that will be the roadblock. So again, we haven't seen, the media hasn't seen the specifics of this deal. Mukhang it's very
Vague at this point.
It's
Top level.
interesting
Broad strokes.
how
Surface
geopolitics
level.
is not just all about armed conflict or armed confrontation, but there's a race for resources
Yes.
that's happening right now.
I mean, that's
There's
really...
a frantic race for resources, whether it's marine resources. I think that's to some extent, to a large extent, the interest of Western powers here in the West Philippine Sea is for the marine resources there that are
But if you also
untapped in the
look-
sea. And now minerals.
Yeah, but if you look at the local level, ganun din naman eh. I mean, economics will largely dictate politics of people. And then to a larger scale, geopolitics. It's all about, at the end of the day, money,
Resources,
security,
money.
food on your tummy, money for the government.
In the olden days, people fought over the Spratly Islands because of guano.
Bad poop.
Paniki ba
bird
doon?
shit.
Bad poop.
No, bird shit.
Yeah, bad poop.
because
They mine it for fertilizer.
fertilizer.
Phosphates, yeah.
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 Phosphate.
And
Because of
then
the
somebody
ammonia.
realized that, maybe we should look under the water and see if there's gas
Like a
deposits.
gas.
And that's when things clicked. But before, it was all about bird shit.
Yeah, that's for the smart people. But when you look at social media, all the comment there is about Pinoy pride and
Oh.
it's different. For
We-
the public
we
at
were-
large, it's all
we were
about...
talking kanina about a lot of misconceptions sa West Philippine Sea. Like, example, Pagasa Island. Totoo naman, it's beyond our EEZ. It's 270 kilometers from Palawan.
Palawan.
Yeah.
So it's 200 nautical miles from 270 nautical miles from Palawan. So it's beyond our EEZ. We are there and we own it because of
Possession.
Yeah, kasi nauna tayo.
Effective,
possession is ownership.
Possession.
Mhm.
And the whole place is disputed, right? It's all disputed. My question on Bok Jan is, I listened to some of the discussions at the plenary. No,
But when you think about it, before there was a different garrison there.
what do you mean?
Belonging to which country?
The Taiwanese.
On Pag-asa?
Yeah, Tito Island. In 1971, there was a Taiwanese garrison there. I think it was April when they left there because of an approaching
Bagyo.
typhoon.
Okay, so inagaw rin natin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then took them some time to come back. So si Marcos sent in the Marines. By the time the Taiwanese came back,
Revolution in China. I think yun yun.
No. Iba pa yan. By the time the Taiwanese came back, nandun yung Marines. So the Taiwanese were getting ready to fire shots at the Philippine Marines. And then Taipei said, no, there are many other things that are happening right now. And among them, I think in One China policy and all that. So they were trying to to woo the international community.
So that's the rule. The jungle, agawan lang talaga. Possession is
I was gonna
ownership,
say,
right?
hindi ba majority of the world's land is occupied territory?
Yeah.
Diba? The conquerors
Like a whole colonizer
came and
thing.
claimed the land for themselves.
There's what they
Including the
call now the cornerstone of all decisions on sovereign issues. The 1928 Island of
Palmas.
Palmas decision by the Permanent Court of Arbitration in 1928. It actually involves us, in a way. Kasi it's a small island to the south of Mindanao, mga 90 kilometers lang away from us. Claimed by the Spaniards. So the Americans took over. So the Americans said, so that's also ours.
And
Right.
then,
But the Dutch were already there. Spain never really took
Claimed.
control of it.
Yeah. Meaning they didn't
Spain
put
just
people
claimed
there.
it, but they didn't have any effective control. That's the phrase for it, effective control. So the Netherlands and the US went to PCA. In 1928, PCA decided effective control is the standard now. It has more weight than historical claims.
okay, right.
Or maps or discoveries.
Yeah, okay. But I think we always conflate what we
Ownership.
have of
Yeah.
possession of Kalayaan
Ownership.
Island Group with
Yeah.
the arbitration ruling.
Marami nga.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
two different
Everybody's
things.
still
And as we
confused.
pointed out,
Mm.
there are two different things. In fact, Bok, I would debate whether there was even an award from the Hague ruling.
It wasn't awarded to us.
It was
Or
just a
an
name.
award.
That's just what they call it. It's an award,
Yeah.
as in the
Yeah.
court arbitral
Decided
ruling
na.
award.
It was more like taking it away from China.
Yeah, there
Because
was no
they
award.
invalidated the 9-dash
Mm.
claim.
When we
It didn't
always
say, "It's yours."
When you hear senators say, "Oh, we were awarded," there was no award. There was nothing award. The biggest significance of the Hague Tribunal ruling is that it's
Defined
struck down
the
9-dash line.
9-dash line.
That's it. It just basically said that's not China, but because of sort of just rocks that
Yeah.
maritime features and all that. It ruled not on ownership,
Because they
but
cannot.
on
Maritime
what those-
jurisdiction.
on the features
Entitlements.
there.
And the entitlements in the maritime
Not
jurisdiction.
entitlements specific to any country, though. In general, in principle. What entitlements come from those rocks and those islands? In fact, I would even argue, well, correct me if I'm wrong, that the Hague Tribunal ruling, under that ruling, I think we lost Scarborough Shoal.
Because the ruling said that
It's common fishing ground.
Yeah, it's customary fishing
Yeah.
So
ground.
in a sense, it was a setback.
There is that
It
view,
was
di ba?
a
Nung
setback.
lumabas yung decision,
Because prior to that, in fact, that was the reason why we went to The Hague. Was when China took possession of Scarborough Shoal. We go to Hague to dispute everything. Okay, but after the Hague ruling in 2016, it basically said it's common fishing ground. It's not even ours.
You might say it's a bit of a halfway thing, because China claims it as China's. We're claiming it as ours. They're saying it's both of yours. It's not just the two of you, but it's also the
Common
Vietnamese.
fishing ground.
Yeah.
Common fishing ground.
Therefore, China does not have a right to
Right.
yeah.
chase
Right.
away Filipino
away. But
fishermen.
sorry,
But also, we don't
that-
have the right. Parang ganun di ba? They don't have the
Yes,
right, we don't have the right.
But just to be contrarian, okay, China is consistent. They did not submit to The Hague, and their position
They
has
will-
always been clear. Everything is ours.
And they will never
They will never.
they will never recognize the Hague ruling, the arbitral ruling.
But it's consistent to the position that it's all ours.
It's they're under their indisputable sovereignty.
So we come back to my point about consistent foreign policy.
Consistent foreign policy. That's it.
Remember the 6 years that we set aside the arbitral ruling? So again, we come back to it. That weakens our position, bottom line.
It
Right?
does.
David na
It
nga
does.
tayo in this scenario, then you have a foreign policy that's inconsistent and spokespersons who are not singing from the same hymn sheet and each saying their own thing. That weakens position.
Sorry, Mr. Tariela, Commodore Tariela, but I don't find it very smart that we have a Coast Guard Commodore more or less dictating the tone of our foreign policy.
maybe that was the whole point.
Maybe okay.
Like
Could be
to
by
separate
design.
it a bit
Could be
more,
too.
like put it as far away from
So
the
may
Foreign Affairs Department.
the DFA.
Perhaps. In which case, okay, that's not a bad move.
That's not bad.
Good
Right,
cup,
right.
bad cup.
Right.
Diba?
A little
Good cup, bad cup.
deniability.
Yeah.
Di naman
Oh,
namin
it's a
ano yan
Coast
eh.
Guard, right?
Yeah.
Coast
O, ikaw
Guard.
No
nag-aaway,
offense
kami
to-
taga-suyo.
Could be.
Oo.
Baka may
Are you
strategy.
telling me that was the real design?
Oo nga, baka may strategy talaga tayo.
maybe we stumbled upon it by accident around the Philippines.
Yeah,
Maybe
maybe
we
they
have a
tried a bunch of
strategy.
things
Maybe.
and this one...
Uy, okay po.
Okay
Sige.
na. Magana siya.
Sabihin ko na, Ed,
Sabihin mo na.
saang
Mundo.
kuweba
Saan kuweba?
ba kayo nakatira?
I guess dun sa kuweba sa likod ng kuweba mo.
Parang kay Tomas Cloma din yan eh. Discovered,
Yeah.
well, in quotes, discovered the practice by accident in 1956 to 58. A lot of people are
1958 lang siya na-discover.
a lot of people are, a lot of Filipinos are going to that and saying that, oh, we discovered it pala. Pero before the war pa, the French Indo-Chinese government already set up a garrison there.
Well, I'm sure
And
sure
then
people
the Japanese
fishing
set
there
up a
knew
garrison
about,
there.
knew
Yeah.
about Kalayaan Island Group even way before mo.
Yeah. But those are people who come and go. Those are people who visit lang eh. It's different when you set up a garrison and establish it as yours eh.
That's true.
Cloma claimed it for him.
For himself.
For
Yeah.
himself. He
For
wanted the
himself.
country there.
Not for the Philippines.
And then
It was
Marcos,
freedom land.
Marcos, okay, as a true to character, took it away from him. But this time, fortunately,
The senior Marcos.
fortunately, yeah, he was forced to give it up, right? He snatched from Cloma,
Well, it wasn't his naman to give away kasi the same year that he discovered it, he was booted out by the Taiwanese. So his claim to it was on paper na lang. He wasn't there anymore physically.
And then if we follow that possession, then it became the Taiwanese. And then it became us after the typhoon that drove
Because
them
of
away.
Baguio.
Yeah. And now the claim is with us. But
And
reading it,
we still have to complain about those Chinese structures, syempre. That's how it works.
yeah.
Well,
Bahala ka
ibang
sa
issue yung
talaga.
Chinese structures eh. Kasi yung Chinese structures are not built on rocks eh. They're built on reefs eh. Di ba, under the and then I know it's a
Environmental ba to?
technicality, but under the under international law, you cannot own the reefs eh.
It doesn't matter. It's possession. It still falls within the realm
No.
of possession.
Hindi. If I recall correctly, that was
who's
addressed. That was addressed by. That was
law on rocks and reefs and islands.
That was addressed by the arbitral ruling eh.
I know,
na
but look.
turning a reef into an artificial island does not give
Make it
you
an island.
entitlements.
But then who's gonna enforce that? That
Exactly.
law
That's
on
the problem.
rocks, reefs, and islands. And
Exactly.
Bottom line is, we're there, and
Law
they're
of
not
the-
moving out.
So, law of the jungle na ulit tayo.
They're not moving out until maybe Filipinos throw a party and invite the Chinese soldiers.
Volleyball tayo, volleyball.
Those sisingitan.
I don't think anyone's gonna fall for that because the Vietnamese
But it happened
also.
to one of our garrisons.
Yes, it did. Vietnam took over. Yeah, nagka-inuman eh, di ba?
Mga Pinoy talaga, no?
No, pero we find ourselves now, di ba? If you look at the surveys, a lot of the Filipinos, they actually like this argument. They think it is ours. So, so-called propaganda has worked.
Sorry, for the longest time, media has been reporting this using the word territory.
Yeah. So that might have helped. Are we part of the problem?
We have to own up.
Well,
I
we
guess.
try to be clear. Sovereignty is different from sovereign rights.
We have to try harder.
In the news, you would find the word
And
territory.
again, it's the bottom line is it's not ownership, right?
It's rights.
It's the fish.
Nang easy.
and,
Pero
Nang easy.
yung pag-asa, that's a
possession.
different...
Because it's within the,
it's possession. We're there. It's ours. Because why? We have it. And we're here. That's it.
because we occupied it, period.
Right.
Effective possession.
Dahil sa bagyo.
And we're not moving out. Even if Senator
We have 300
Marcoleta
people there
suggested
already.
We're not moving out. They've just improved,
And
spent billions to improve the
town hall
runway.
of Kalayaan is there.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Pag-asa.
May community
Hindi
doon
sa barangay hall, town hall ng Kalayaan.
Tsaka lagi siya binibisita, di ba? Aeroplano natin. They always check and fly over there.
Tsaka may wifi na raw. Yun ang mahalaga.
Starlink lang yun.
Kasi baka iwanan siya ng
Starlink
inhabitants
lang.
pagka
Starlink lang.
walang Starlink doon. But where does that bring us?
How do we land this?
Hmm?
How do we land this? Balik tayo kay Ronald. Who is in Japan right now? Di ba? Nasa Japan yan. Ano ba
But,
ginagawa sa Japan?
you know, I was thinking kanina,
Speaking engagement?
baka mamaya naman kasi yung sinabi ni Alan Peter Cayetano, quoting Ronald na parang ano,
Baka na-confuse siya. He was
oo,
talking about the
na-
Scarborough standoff.
na we should have, it should be bilateral, not multilateral. We shouldn't bring in the US. Baka he was talking about
The
Scarborough standoff,
Yeah.
not the PCA.
What's PCA?
The Permanent Court of Arbitration.
When we
Yung
went to
arbitra-
PCA to
Sa Hague.
have arbitration.
PCA was a result of losing Scarborough.
Kaya nga,
Yes.
kaya nga. No, I'm talking about yung ano,
Baka yung sinabi sa kanya ni
bilateral.
Oh,
Ronald.
in meeting with
Possibly,
the Chinese,
possibly.
remember, the
He
meetings
tried
were
to
ano eh.
backchannel it. So,
Try muna natin ayusin, kumbaga, bago natin dalhin dun sa korte.
well,
And remember,
and also,
the US screwed us over eh. Di ba?
Yeah.
and also, I think,
According to the story.
Also, I think the president or Pinoy having decided we will go to tribunal, as a cabinet member, you just support that line. Even if you don't agree initially.
Of course you do, but the timeline of this all matters as well, right? Because Senator Cayetano did not mention any time frames around this. What if, and this is a very left of field suggestion, what if just before nagpumunta na arbitration, habang nag-uusap na about filing a case, then Ronald went to the senators trying to rally
Pwede
support.
rin. Pwede
Which
rin.
is, very incriminating.
Oh, pwede rin. Kasi nung huli na lang siya, nung after the hearing na lang siya nagpa-picture, ng group picture. Remember
I remember that picture.
All
It was
of them.
Baka
Doon sa
talagang
loob ng
all
courtroom.
against siya. With Solicitor General Hilbay.
With the Solicitor General Hilbay.
Siya yung lead ng delegation.
Yes. And I understand he apparently had a prominent role too in the tribunal. No? So, knowing Ronald, I think,
Pangasar.
knowing Ronald, I think the president having made a decision, he just supported it and went all the way.
Well, he was a political affairs.
Yeah, ang sinasabi naman ni Ronald, his job is to be the harbinger of bad news to the president.
To be the lightning rod.
To be
To be,
the
that's
contrarian
right. I've heard him
voice.
say lightning rod.
Oo. So maybe at the start he didn't agree. He tried to, and it's not uncommon within a president's cabinet for
people to
dissenting
disagree,
voice.
yes.
You should have that.
You should have
You
that.
should have that.
Yeah.
But with the president having heard everything and having decided the course of action, everybody has to follow.
Meron bang Ronald sa present administration?
Wala nga.
Walang presidential advisor.
Wala no?
To begin with.
On economics
On
lang.
politics.
Oo, on
On
politics.
economics,
On
yes.
economics.
Although
Which, by the way, they
Ronald tends to attract the lightning even without any help from Pinoy.
He's electric. Our
Oh, yeah,
very
ano?
own international man of mystery. Ronald, you
Okay.
can answer these allegations when you come back.